this the required video of the beer?
I'm not talking about how many people. I'm talking about.
So what are you doing, Peter?
There's 1/3 of men and 1 in 250 women.
Well, that's because it's...
Okay.
That's why, wait,
What are you working on, Ron?
Yeah.
Yes.
Reading about ham radio.
Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. I like
Ours.
Peter.
So let's not worry about me.
Yes, you're proud of 2/3.
Looks like you're doing real work, though.
Yeah, 2/3.
Well,
2/3.
no, here.
So ham radio.
Come back in a
it's
second.
1/3 of
Turn the lights on.
green.
Okay, I'll finish the rounds
Oh,
here.
sorry.
But
And
there's
this
a
happens
couple
every week,
other
too.
ones that
Nothing.
What are you working on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're discussing whether we can come up with a new form of sheet music for drums because
See,
the
that's
current
actually
system-
interesting.
Okay.
Right? You're inventing a notation system
We're
for drums.
discussing-
For colorblind
we're
people.
speculating on how one could create a notation system. We haven't.
We haven't
Gotten-
started inventing it yet.
Yeah, we
right
haven't
now.
quite gotten to the stage.
We're throwing stuff at the wall.
This is a brainstorming session.
Okay, we'll check back in with you guys.
I'm actually doing things.
Alright.
I am sanding, because last week I was here, I glued all of these together.
Yeah, that was
And
covered
it
in
was-
like goop.
Yeah.
Last we saw it.
Yeah, and it was also it was a really sloppy job, possibly by me. However, now because of that, I get to sand them all down, and so I've been working at it for a really long time, but it's going. So, all of these edges, yeah.
I'm learning Python.
He's been waiting for that.
I'm learning Python.
Which version of Python are you learning?
I don't know, whatever version was in 2006.
I don't know that that's very useful, Matt.
I don't know if it is either,
This,
but it's
article
something to do.
Says it's 6%.
It's at least we're not talking about body parts or dislocations or blood
I
and
think it's 1/3 of
vomiting and
some
stuff like that.
Some form of colorblind, and red green.
Someone's queasy.
That would be. I mean, there's a
Maybe.
lot of other ones besides red green that are.
Doc was
even more
here,
common
so
than-
that
unless there's so
conversation
many
actually
more
did
than
happen.
Because the Wikipedia article has all 3.
that. Yeah, colorblindness is just
Live
like
demo.
something that
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
going.
think of until someone tells you about because you can't.
It's also something most people don't even know they have until they take a color test.
That's all it does for right now.
Yeah.
It just turns on the LEDs.
Yep.
Just remember, I watched the
So I'm trying to set up the
Yeah,
couple different PWM images
not a
or
real thing,
engines, so I can set the brightness of the various LEDs so they all, right now the taillights they all wash out.
like
What
a-
scale is
red,
that
green,
truck?
and then, like,
Oh,
So this is for your dad's.
I know stuff.
like,
Okay.
That's what I have.
So there's a button on here so you'll be able to pick which set of lights you want on.
Mm-hmm. And is this
And
going to be like
there's-
parked at a crossing?
What's that?
Is it going to be parked at a crossing?
Could be.
you are
And then there's 4 inputs, so I can have 16 states set up.
This one say it's-
So when the train comes by, maybe the brake lights come on,
Yeah.
or when it cycles to nighttime, the headlights come on.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That makes total sense.
I've heard of that.
That's not fair.
So I haven't done a train setup in so long. Micros make this even more fun than it was back in the day.
Yep.
They see like different shades with
My
it.
dad's not into the DCC stuff yet. He's pretty much big transformer knob.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I had
Men track things moving and moving them
way back then. And what about ham radio? I didn't know you were a ham. Are you thinking about getting?
I'm licensed.
Yo, you are. What class are you?
Advanced.
Advanced class. Is that one that they don't have anymore?
So basically,
Yeah.
it's
So you've been a
That
ham
was
for a while.
between general and extra.
Okay, so you definitely had to do Morse then.
13.
Nice.
Our idea is to use a letter numbering system on the notation, where each letter corresponds to a different instrument in the drum set with a number corresponding to the size of that instrument. So if you have different size rides.
All right, you're making the assumption here that drummers can read.
Weren't you the one who was impressed by how well read I am?
Yes. But then I found out you're a drummer. So I made the joke.
I thought it was pretty funny.
I'm just fighting words.
Everyone but the drummer thought it was funny, like most drummer jokes. So, letters, and you think that letters can be sight read fast enough, and they don't rely on recognizing colors, so it works for colorblind people.
And by using superscript numbers, we'd be able to denote different sizes of, say, for example, the ride. If you have 3 different size rides going, you can have R superscript 1, R superscript 2, R superscript 3.
Or you could just use superscript and subscript to move The
That's the other thing. The actual positioning on the lines is irrelevant to the sound. Each line is just to keep it all organized so that you know that your bass, the letter that denotes bass drum will always be in the same position. So you can expect, B will always be on the lowest line. That way we're not shifting stuff up and down, leading to confusion. And that way also, so if you have somebody with a really complex set that has like 3 different size rides and somebody's trying to learn it with only one ride, they can ignore the superscript number. They know, okay, this is R1, this is R2, well I only have one ride, so I'm just going to play the same one. And that way we get around the whole, rush symptom where one dude has a 300 set
Yeah.
and the other one has a 10-piece starter.
prog rock.
It's just trying to account for flexibility.
Yeah.
Is all it is.
Because it's as expandable or contractable as it needs to be for each kit.
Yeah,
So it makes sense.
All we have to do is we just stick a key at the front that says, capital B is the bass drum, capital S is the snare, lowercase s is the splash, or it doesn't even have to do that. P is the splash. B1 is left bass, B2 is right bass. Do you have a single bass? Just play the single bass.
Yeah.
If it's a double pedaling song, and then we also came up with like accounting for double pedaling. Because if it's a complex enough song that you have 2 different instruments on the same line, you can just do B dot and then a number denoting, hit the double bass 16 times. 4 measures with a double bass at 4 beats per.
Sounds like you're going to have to write this down.
We
Considering doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it should simply be. It's not meant for sight reading while you're actually playing, because drumming is
standard libraries, right?
active enough that you can't really be looking at a piece of paper while you're playing. But what you can do is listen to it while you're reading along, and that way you can get a general idea.
Wait. What if we put it into like one of those Google Glass things where we could see it the entire time, like augmented reality?
Then we're losing the whole flexibility aspect. Yeah, so basically it's so you can just put whatever the music is on paper. You can learn it by looking at it while listening to it, or just
Violinists don't have this problem. We just read music.
People aren't
Still standing.
they're not
But basically we
doing
hope
as
that
much
this
official
might,
stuff as like Java.
introduce some sensible,
Since Oracle bought Java,
very flexible.
Canonical doesn't
It needs to
have
be documented
they don't, because Oracle and
so we can
Canonical for
spread
some
it
reason don't get along together.
to the rest
So
of the
there's not
drummers'
a
peoples.
really easy way to
And then they can argue about it on the internet to no end.
um,
Because that's how things get better.
largely
Yeah, I expect
Sometimes.
that'll happen.
Yeah.
But
Oracle
we hope
and
this will be
Canonical
flexible
have
and simple enough that it can
had a
fit just
battle or
about
something,
anything.
falling
Very
together.
cool.
On the light levels, running lights, brake lights. Is that enough of a difference?
How much dimmer can the running ones be without the side lights overwhelming them? That's definitely getting close, though.
I mean, so right now that was 40 on the red, 80 or 20 on the yellow, and 80 for the brake. And once it's done freaking out. So this is 20-20 and 80-20.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious there.
I don't think I want to go brighter than 80. Here, let me show you what brighter than 80 looks like. So here's full brightness once it's done.
And of course, this is an assembly.
Why not?
Just for the viewers at home.
So there's full brightness. That's too bright.
Depends on the distance that you're viewing it.
Well, no, but in a real car, you don't see
Yeah.
the whole back end of the car light up when you hit your brake lights. Well, you do, but not to that extent. Now, the flashers up here, when I get them going that bright, it'll just be flashing so fast.
So did that body come with the LEDs in it, or?
Nope. So these are actually little 0603 LEDs with twin filament magnet wire. So this is magnet wire, but there's 2 individually coated wires stuck together, soldered to each one of these, running back to the little control card, which is a... This will take universal input, so AC or DC. I think like 7 to 32 volts. regulates it down to 5 to run the brain and all the LEDs. And the inputs, there's 4 inputs here that you can also use, are opto-isolated. So you can tie them whichever way you want with respect to common and power and not have to worry about crosstalk. Because a lot of the Lionel systems, to trigger the accessories, they actually break common on one of the rails. So when the train rolls over, common bridges from one outside rail to one outside rail. Here, that works better.
Lionel has the
3 rails,
yeah.
and the center rail is your power. So they'll insulate one rail. When the train rolls over, it bridges common over. And then there's some other accessory switches which sit underneath, that when the weight of the train runs over the rail, it actually applies power from the hot leg to the accessory. So just giving people options of how they hook it up and make it work. But yeah, there's lots of hours of skinning, soldering, scanning, drilling holes.
Anything on your YouTube channel on this one?
Not yet.
Okay.
I got a lot of photos and stuff that I just need to edit and put together.
Okay.
All
Unlike
right.
an Addy clip, this one's actually in focus and the correct white balance.
So, violin update time. I sanded all night long. All night. And it's closer to being all sanded down. It's not perfect.
I see a little bit
Yes,
of glue
yes,
in there
yes.
yet.
I know it's not perfect, but it's closer. It took me a long time, so I'm pretty proud. So yeah, there's a lot of edges to do, and there's the end sides too.
See the tailpiece again?
Oh, yes.
That actually looks really good.
Oh, thanks.
There's still a little bit of glue, but that came out really good. Do you still have all the other pieces out?
Oh, the ones I bought?
Yeah, I'm sure people are going to want to
I-
see that too.
Yes.
I should have seen if Bruiser wants to.
Alright, so online I just bought a lot of pieces for my violin. So we'll have to put them all together. Here we have a tailpiece. We've got an end pin to go with it here. Whoops, sorry. There we go. Here is a shoulder rest. I also have pegs. This all came in a nice little handy set. So 4 of them, obviously. So there you go. We have lots of new parts. So when I finally get everything sanded and looking nice, we can start
What's the little cable looking
putting
thing?
on this.
It goes around
yep.
this pin
Okay.
and through the bottom of this tailpiece.
Okay.
Through here. There's little holes here. Can you see them?
Yep.
Can you guys see them? Yeah, it loops through there and then loops over that.
And does what?
So the strings are pulling here,
Yeah.
and
Oh, so that sucks
this
it
holds
towards
it down, right?
Okay.
Yeah. It's the best of 1500s engineering. Yep. So yeah, what's left?
Sanding.
Sanding, bridge,
I have to work on getting the bridge yet.
and there was something else too, wasn't there?
Putting everything together. I have to buy strings yet.
Strings, that's it. That's right. So we're going to start out with used strings for first setup, in case something explodes. Yep.
Sounds good.
Don't want to mess up new strings.
I like 2 better.
Slightly brighter.
Yeah. Because it the whole lens here is lighting up.
Did you backfill that lens with like super glue or something?
I actually used some of the UV cure glue. That's making its rounds. And that stuff is awesome.
I can see kind of the bubbles in it. That's helping diffuse it and make it look even better. Gives it that glass look.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but it looks great in person.
Oh, I should turn on the headlights while I'm here. So, oops. Compile. Let me see if I can get headlights on.
So, what's it gonna take to convince your dad to do like a quarry scene or like a a swamp scene in his build so that you can have one of these submerged in epoxy? Because this would look amazing.
Well, seeing how I built most of his scene or his train set for him, I probably could just build one and be like, here you go. Unfortunately, his set is like, typical kids type setup. So it's just like a plain green background and a painted on river. He's not going for hyper detailed. He's just doing, sort of normal.
Never mind the custom built electronics.
Yeah, it's more interesting this way.